आदाय तराति पारम। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू
थैंक यू। मधु माता जी, है कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। रहुगण त्वमपि हि ध्वनो अस्य सन्न्यस्तदण्डः कृतभूतमैत्रः असज्जित आत्मा हरिसेवयाशितं ज्ञानासिमादाय तराति पारम्। थैंक यू माताजी। हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू। प्रफुल्ला माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, प्रणाम माता जी। ओम
हरे
नमो
कृष्ण।
भगवते वासुदेवाय। रहुगणत्वम् अपि अधन्य अस्वः संन्यास दण्डः कृतभूत मैत्र असज्जित आत्मा हरिसेवयासितं ज्ञानासिमादय तराति पारम। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। थैंक यू माता।
वेंकट नरसिम्हा प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। प्रभु गण त्वमपि यद्वनोस्य संन्यस्तदण्डं कृतभूतमैत्रः सज्जतात्मा हरिसेवया शतं ज्ञानापिमादय तराति पारम। हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
थैंक यू। लीना माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। रहुगणत्वमपि यद्वनो अस्य सन्न्यस्तदण्डः कृतभूतमैत्रः असज्जितात्मा हरिसेवया शितं ज्ञानासिम् आदाय तराति पारम्। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे
थैंक
कृष्ण।
यू। विजय कुमारी माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, धन्वत प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। रघुगणत्वम् अभिः अध्वनो अस्य सन्न्यस्तदण्डकृतभूत मैत्रः अजस्जिदात्मा हरिद हरिदारादिभारं जिज्ञानिसिम् आदाय दरादिभारम्। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। थैंक यू माता जी।
शुभा राव प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंड प्रणाम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। रहुगणत्वमपि अध्वन्नोऽस्य सन्न्यस्तदण्डः कृतभूतमैत्रः असज्जितात्मा हरिसेवयासितं ज्ञानासिमादाय तराति पारम्।
थैंक यू कृष्णा। रहुगणात्वम् अपि हि अध्वनो अस्य सन्न्यस्तदण्डा कृतभूतमैत्रः असज्जितात्मा हरिसेवयाशितं ज्ञानासिम् आदाय तराति पारम्। Rahugan, O King Rahugan, Tvam you, Api also, he certainly, Advadaha, of the path of material existence, Asya, this, Sannyasa Danda, having given up the king's rod for punishing criminals, Vitabhuta Maitra, having become friendly to everyone, Asajita Atma, whose mind is not attracted to the material pleasure of life, Hari Sevaya, by the means of loving service to the Supreme Lord, Shitam, sharpened, Jnana Asim, the sword of knowledge, Adai, taking in hand, Tara, crossover, Ati Param, to the ultimate end of spiritual existence. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Ki Jai. My dear King Rahugan, my dear King Rahugan, you're also a victim of the external energy, being situated on the path of attraction to material pleasure. So that you may become an equal friend to all living entities, I now advise you to give up your kingly position and the rod by which you punish criminals. Give up attraction to the sense objects and take up the sword of knowledge sharpened by devotional service. Then you will be able to cut the hard knot of illusory energy and cross to the other side of the ocean of nescience. Perfect Pines Divine Grace Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna compares the material world to a tree of illusion from which one must cut oneself free. Na rupa mashesa tatopalabhyate, na ananto na cha adir na cha sampratishtha, ashvatthamenam suviruddha moolam asanga shastrena dridena chitva. तथा पदम तत् परिमार्गतव्यम यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूया तम एव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा प्रवृत्तिः प्रशस्ता पुराणी. The real form of tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So doing, one must seek that place from which, having once gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything has begun, and in whom everything is abiding since time immemorial. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 3-4. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjan Chalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasite Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishbhanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमामि विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. My dear King Rahugan, you are also a victim of the external energy being situated on the path of attraction to material pleasure. So that you may become an equal friend to all living entities, I now advise you to give up your kingly position and the rod by which you punish criminals. Give up attraction to the sense objects and take up the sword of knowledge sharpened by devotional service. Then you will be able to cut the hard knot of illusory energy and cross to the other side of the ocean of nescience. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, the creative impetus, chapter number 13, which is entitled as what?
Further
Further talks in between King Raghugan and Jada Bharat.
Further talks between King Rahugan and Jada Bharat. So, this is a conclusion of instructions. Krishna, sorry. This is a conclusion of instructions by Jada Bharat to King Rahugan about the forest of material enjoyment, in which a conditioned soul in the form of merchant enters to do some trade or to collect some sort of happiness, but gets cheated every time. Okay, after having given instructions, the problems, the complexities, and also the root cause of all the problems, he's concluding his instructions by telling that what is good for King Rahugan. Right now, this is a very personal instruction. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna conclude Bhagavad Gita as? What does Krishna tell Arjun towards the end of Bhagavad Gita? What does he say?
Dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja.
Surrender
Okay,
unto me.
give up everything and then surrender to me. But what else? What else? Like what else he say?
यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु.
Yathechasi tatha guru. Like as you desire, you do. But what else does he add? And he says, give up everything, surrender unto me. I will take care of everything. Do not fear. And then he says, but he also says that as you desire, I have explained to you this most confidential science of most confidential spiritual science. Now it is up to you what you want to do. What else he says? What else he says?
You come and surrender
Madhava
me.
madbhakto madhyajiman namaskuru.
Okay. Okay. What else?
या idam param guhye madbhaktev.
Okay, whoever explains this secret to everyone, devotional service is guaranteed. Okay, what else?
Don't preach to the non-devotees.
I think we're getting little. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so what I'm looking for basically is that first he says, give up everything, do not fear. Then he says, do as you desire. And then he says, if you do not act according to what I am telling you to act as, then what will happen? Then you will be?
You will be lost.
You will be lost.
Yes.
Right. So Krishna is not directly telling Arjun what to do. Krishna is giving options to Arjun. Direct instruction is Sarvadharman Parityaja. But then he also says, but do as you wish. I have already explained everything to you. But mind you, if you don't do what I'm telling you, you will be lost. So what does that lost mean? When Krishna says you'll be lost, what does that lost mean? What does that
You
mean?
will not progress in
fall in the trap of desires again.
Cycle of death and birth, Mataji.
Cycle of, okay, but cycle of birth and death, or cycle of material desires, or what else?
Able to his lotus feet.
Okay.
Not able.
Not
You will
able to get.
forget. You will forget his bhakti.
Yes, or you'll never be able to come to a conclusion. Like in that particular incident, or the event was the war, right? Whether he must fight or he must not fight. Then you'll never not be able to make a decision on your own. So you'll be lost. So surrender unto me and do as I'm saying, and you will be okay. But if you don't do that, then you'll be lost, but you still have a choice to do what you want to do. But what I'm telling you to do is just do it. But here we are seeing that that Maharaj Rahugan, because he has surrendered to Krishna, to Jad Bharat as a spiritual master, right? Because he is surrendered to Maharaj Rahugan has surrendered to Jad Bharat, the spiritual master. Jad Bharat is giving him a direct instruction. That's what is the very personal relationship a sincere disciple can have with its spiritual master. That you get a direct or a personal instruction. That he's saying that you're also a victim of the external energy. Now, it may sound as a judgmental statement, right? It may sound as a judgmental statement if I says you are a victim of all your material desires. It sounds a judgmental statement, right? You're judging me. Yes? But it's not a judgmental statement because the relationship is already established. The relationship is Jad Bharat is spiritual master, King Rahugan is the disciple. So if a spiritual master is telling something to the disciple, it is not judgmental. It is out of pure worry, affection, and concern for the spiritual life of a disciple. But if the relationship between the two people who are talking is not established, who is who, then this can be taken as a judgmental statement. Okay, so make sure when we read this, understand that where it is coming from. So you're also a victim of external energy. Don't think that I have explained this allegory by taking an example of a conditioned soul who is a merchant in the material world as a forest, and the merchant is entering the forest to do some trade and is facing all these impediments. You are actually also going through the same thing, also a victim of external energy, basically, which means that you don't have a control over it. Don't think there is a control. And why are you victim of external energy? Because you're situated on the path of attraction to material pleasure. Okay, so this can give, then he gives 4 elements as to how to get out of it. That is why Krishna consciousness is a complete philosophy. No other philosophy is complete because they can tell what not to do, but they cannot tell what to do. There's going to be some hodgepodge or some haphazard instruction, but it will never be complete. You can tell, okay, sit like this, breathe like this, concentrate like this, don't do like this, but what do you do? What do you do after you find Paramatma in your heart? What do you do? You don't have that. What do you do if you merge in Brahman? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do after you get the spiritual knowledge? You just become situated in happiness? Because soul is so active, it needs activity. Krishna consciousness tells us what to do and also tells us what not to do and also tells us what to take precautions from. It's very complete. Okay, so what is victimizing you is because of being situated on the path of attraction to material pleasure. We can analyze our life and see that where is my happiness coming from. Because my friend Paijata was telling me the other day that we all need some sort of rasa, some sort of juice or some sort of mellow in our life. We look forward. Like, some people were wishing me Navratri. Why were they wishing Navratri? Why are they not wishing Shraddh? What is the reason? What is the reason? Happy Shraddh. Do we say that? We say Happy Navratri. We don't say Happy Shraddh, do we? I'm not audible?
No, Mataji, we don't say that.
We don't say.
But why we don't say that?
It is
Because
not
that is not a very
celebration,
pleasant
Mataji.
thing.
It's a celebration.
Ashubha,
Yeah,
Mataji. Ashubha.
we look for we look for some sort of rasa, we look for some sort of mellow, we look for some sort of like enjoyment, right? Some sort of pleasure. So we can take a pause and see that what is the source of my pleasure. It's to have pleasure in life is not a perversion. It's natural. But what is the source of pleasure? It can be perverted, like Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, right? The upside down banyan tree. It can be a perverted or it can be real. And the reality only exists in Krishna. There is no other reality. Okay, there is the Krishna, the material world confuses us. We get confused that, oh, is that real? Oh, am I really a body? Oh, am I mind? Oh, who is the other person? Oh, what is? So it's a very confusing place. It's like, have you heard of this places called escape room? It's becoming very famous even in India, I heard. Like escape room. Have you heard this term before? People go spend a lot of money to go for fun to places called escape room. Have you heard of it?
No, Mataji. No, Mataji.
Okay, the escape room is like a Wizard of Oz. Like you pay money, you go in the room, and then you have to solve puzzle after puzzle, and find your way out of the room. Okay, so you have to like solve one puzzle, then another puzzle, and then you have to like find your way out of the room. So it's like a game. And I've never been to one, but I've heard that it can be very either exciting or very spooky or very like fearful, depending on what kind of escape room you enter. So Krishna, so material world is like that. We come in and then we are solving one puzzle after another puzzle to see if I can, escape this problem, if I can progress in my life, if we can do this, if I can do that. But are we ever able to really escape? No. Then what are we trying to escape? We don't know. What are we trying to do is we're just trying to become happy. Happy, 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 happy. But then in chasing their happiness, we are actually ignoring the bigger picture of problems. And then the death is there, and then the old age is there, and then disease is there, and then the birth is there. But we just somehow try to adopt to everything and then try to become happy and think that this is the way life is. Everybody is living like this, and this is the way I'm supposed to live. So we get victimized. It confuses us, and then suddenly somebody dies. Suddenly some calamity comes, and suddenly we open our eyes and we have become old. It's like, oh my God, I was not like this. I have heard from a lot of like senior citizens, at least in this country, in America, that they cannot believe that they have become so old. Yeah, is it true when we become very old? Like, is it like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm like 90 years old? Yeah, is it true?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God, I'm 70 years old. Oh my God, like so it's confusing that how did that even happen, right? It's because we are on the path of attraction to material pleasure, and then we're just very distracted. So these are the 4 recommendations by Jad Bharat or to Rahugan to escape this victimization. What is the first one? Become an equal friend to all living entities. The second one, give up your kingly position. And then the rod by which you punish the criminals. That's third. Okay, give up the kingly position and the rod. Then third one, give up attraction to sense objects. Fourth one, how can we give the attraction to sense objects? Take up the sword of knowledge sharpened by devotional service. Okay, so it says here, what is it? Sannyasasta danda. So give up the king's rod. Then Krita Bhuta Maitraha, become friendly to everyone. Then Hari Asat Jitatma. Asat Jitatma means that don't get attracted to the material sense objects. Then Hari Sevaya Sitam means become established in devotional service or loving devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, it doesn't mean that you get down from the throne and don't act as a king, but remember, to begin with, Rahugan, what was his disposition towards Jad Bharat when he was not carrying the plank in Draupadi? What was his behavior towards Jad Bharat? King Rahugans. How was his behavior towards Jad Bharat, Rahugan, when he was not able to carry the plank in?
He was rude
He
in the
wanted to
beginning.
punish him.
Very
He was
rude to
rude
him.
and ruthless.
Rude and harsh.
Yeah,
Oh.
for why was it rude? Where was it springing from? That rudeness, that harshness. What was the root cause?
Ahankar as a king.
Ahankar.
Identification, Mataji,
he-
false
Yeah.
identification.
Very nice, very nice. So he was proud of being a king and thought of the other person as a subservient to the king. Now it means that look at everyone with an equal vision. It doesn't mean that don't be a king or don't act according to your Kshatriya nature. What it means is that try to look at other person as a person, not as your subservient. Right? Indian culture is so nice. It's supposed to be so nice, but in India, we find that actually when you go to India, you find that people who are like doing the jobs, which are like cleaning the road or cleaning the gutters, right? They are treated or serving in somebody's house, they're treated as lower, right? The behavior is different, right? Or people who are doing construction jobs. Yes, the people they're looked down upon, that they are down people. Interestingly, it is not so in Western countries. It's not so. Everybody is treated with respect. That's one thing which we can take from this country. That it's not that because somebody is working as a janitor or somebody is working as a construction worker and somebody is working as an engineer and doctor, so they don't get the same sort of respect in the society. They do get the same sort of respect. Okay, I'm not saying that there is equanimity in the vision of Western people, but external behavior at least is full of etiquette. Okay, so here we're seeing that he's saying that become friendly, equal, become an equal friend to all living entities. Look at everyone as at least as a person. And then give up your kingly position and a rod by which you punish criminals. So I don't know what is the inner meaning of this. I advise you to give up your kingly position and rod by which you punish criminals. Maybe we will see when Rahugan will start speaking. Is he going to really renounce his kingly position and literally become a monk? Or is he going to stay as a king and then give up his mentality, which is attracted by three modes of material nature? Give up attraction to the sense objects. Doesn't mean that we don't we get victimized by sense objects. Right? It doesn't mean that. Prabhupada explains this in a very nice example. Prabhupada said that flower, okay, it is a flower, a very beautiful flower. If it is decorating, I'm not even paraphrasing, Prabhupada says like this, if it is decorating the bunch of hair on the head of a lady, it is sense gratification. But if it is offered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it is not sense gratification. So the same object can be used for sense gratification or for devotional service. Same object. So attraction to the sense objects means that how are we using those objects for? Or you can look at when you're cooking or your house or your own life or your own mind, your own body, your own words, that how are we using this object? Right? And then the sword of knowledge sharpened by devotional service. So knowledge is not enough. What is better is the knowledge is sharpened by devotional service. Having knowledge is not enough. It has to be put in practice to the service of devotional service in devotional life to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then this knowledge can cut the knot. Otherwise, it will not cut the knot. Just by becoming knowledgeable is not the way out of this material world. If we are applying that knowledge in our service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it becomes sharp enough to cut that knot and get out, help us get out of it. Okay, Krishna doesn't care about knowledge. Krishna has proven this in the pastime of Brahmanas and his wives. It comes in demons killed by Krishna in Vrindavan. Remember, we did that? So who is more knowledgeable, Brahmanas or their wives? In literal sense, who is more knowledgeable?
Brahmanas
Their
are
wives,
more knowledgeable.
their wives.
Brahmanas
wives,
are
Mataji.
reciting.
Wives.
The wives
Their
are not,
wives.
we don't hear them reciting Vedic mantras, do we?
No.
No.
No, Mataji.
But they are devotees, simple-hearted devotees. So Krishna doesn't care about knowledge. He doesn't care about, but what are you doing with that knowledge? Has that knowledge come to the conclusion that surrender unto me, come to me? If that's happened, then okay, then that knowledge is good. If not, then it's not sharp enough to let us get out. You know, like when sometimes the knife is there, but sometimes the knife is blunt. So what do we have to do? We have to rub it against the sharpening stone to make it sharp. Yeah, one can say that, oh, you are actually wasting the metal of the knife, but no, actually we are putting it to use so that we can make it very sharp. Like that, the knowledge is useful when it is put in application to devotional service. Otherwise, armchair philosophy is of very little value. Then you'll be able to cut the hard knot of illusory energy and cross to the other side of ocean of silence. Okay, so Prabhupada is emphasizing in the purport that don't waste time in understanding the beginning, middle, and end of the material world, because we can't. Okay, because there is the real form of the tree cannot be perceived in this world. Right? The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. We cannot understand where it begins, where it ends, where its foundation is, but we are on the tree, so cut down with determination. Cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. How can we develop detachment if we don't have an attachment to something higher? Then cross over to the other side. And we can do it. We really can. We can do it if we are following the orders of the acharyas, because the order of the acharyas, if we follow the order of the acharyas, we get empowerment to follow it with more determination. But if we get scared of not following, then we remain in lethargy. What is that? Swami Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj says, spiritual life is difficult. It's difficult. Simple but difficult. But material life is impossible. Okay, so it's impossible. So spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. We cannot get what we want in this particular world because it is not designed in that manner to give us what we want. It's not designed. It's a waste of time. What is it designed for is to use it as a springboard to jump to the other world where we'll get everything in abundance, right? So many families, I think all of us by this stage of life have seen some mishappenings in either our lives or somebody else's life. Yes, have we seen?
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Right, like we have seen like young people dying. Like one of my friends passed away 2 days ago. Like, right, we're seeing young people dying. We have seen children, people not having children despite of having all the abilities or good education, good family. We have seen people losing their health. We have seen like ourselves growing old. We have seen so many things, but we don't want any of those. Yeah, anybody wanted any of those in any other person or themselves or their families?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
But it happened. It happened, right? So what is the lesson? The lesson is that this place is not designed to give me the happiness. There's no happiness. Right? Dvaita bhadra abhadra sakuli sama. Ei manda ei changa keval manobhrama. Prabhupada was explaining, I was listening to his lecture a few days ago, and he was saying in Calcutta, there is a street. It's called, he was saying it new name is Vidhan Sabha Street or Marg, something like that, but it used to be called as Victoria Street. And he was like, but now they have changed the name to Vidhan Sabha Marg or something. He said that in that street, there are two, like opposite side of the road, there are butcher shops. Okay, butcher shops. So why there are two opposite sides of the road butcher shop? Because one side is a butcher shop owned by Muslim. and the other side is the butcher shop owned by Hindus. So the Hindus don't go to buy the meat from the Muslims shop, and the Muslims don't go to buy the meat from the Hindus. Why? Because Hindus think Muslims' meat is impure, and Muslims think Hindus' meat is impure. So Prabhupada said this is like the stool, top of the stool and the bottom of the stool, because the top of the stool is dry, it is very nice, and the bottom of the stool is wet, it is bad. But at the end of the day, it is the stool. You got it? Like Prabhupada was saying like that in the lecture, that at the end of the day, both are doing the sinful activity, but this is pure and this is impure. What is this? Right? So in the similar manner, this place is not going to give us any happiness. We will always end up with rejection, repression, depression, if we are not going to Krishna, because that's how this is planned. You know, that's how it is planned. And we cannot change the plan. It cannot, because we are victimized by it. We can only surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can change the plan for us. We cannot. Okay, so understand what this verse is saying, that how this is not a judgmental statement, because the relationship is established as to who's who. So when we speak to someone, we also must speak in such a manner which is very, very cordial to the relationship that we are sharing with the other living entity. And this is because this is the conversation between a disciple and a spiritual master. It's not judgmental. And it is a direct personal instruction. But Krishna, on the other hand, gives options, tells Arjuna what he wants him to do, but does not force at the same time. And here he's advising to do 4 things to Jad Bharat, to Maharaj Rogan, by which he can cut the tree of, by which he can cut the hard knot of material attachment, and then cross over to the other side of the ocean of nescience. Questions, reflection, realization, correction. I think I spoke a lot. Sorry. Question, reflection, realizations, corrections.
Then how about the prescribed duty, Mataji? If he leaves the kingdom and gives the Rajadand and all that, he is also supposed to do prescribed duty at the same time, be in devotional service.
So, Prabhu, I mentioned that I'm not clear whether this means that you actually get down from the throne and become a monk, or does it mean that you purify your existence while as a king? Okay, I'm going to speculate. We should not speculate, but I'm going to speculate. So if it is a literal instruction, like literal instruction means that now your time as a king is over, now you take to the next stage of your life, then that's what's going to happen. But if it is an instruction, let's say to purify the heart, then the thing is that you punish on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not because your sense enjoyment is disrupted. Right? He was trying to punish or talk harsh to Jad Bharat because his comfort was disrupted, right?
Yes, Mata.
But in case if we take the other way, that okay, you become a king, but on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You punish, but on behalf of Supreme Personality of Godhead's accord, not for your own sense gratification. Not because you are personally getting affected. If Krishna is getting affected, then you do it. And that to a king can only be told by a spiritual master or Brahmanas. That's why Brahmanas will instruct Kshatriyas how to rule. Because Kshatriyas are mostly driven by mode of passion. So they cannot make a long-term solution to a problem. That is why they voluntarily would consult their advisory committee with Brahmanas.
Got it, Mataji. Very nice.
Right.
Correct.
In case we can understand, hopefully it will become later on, clear later on. Any other? Mataji.
Mataji, as you said, no one can enjoy Brahma Jyoti. So can you please explain it more?
So yeah, so this my Guru Maharaj was asked this question last week. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasann Atma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakte labhate param. Right? The question is that it is stated there that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, or Atma, which is looking at the living entities with equal vision, is actually Prasannatma, is happy. But then how are we saying that one who is realized with Brahman realization has a concept of eternity, has a concept of knowledge, but there is no bliss? But Krishna is saying this in Bhagavad Gita, that that person is happy, Prasannatma. Is that what you're asking? How do we solve this controversy?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah, so Guru Maharaj explained that by just virtue of understanding the eternity and knowledge, there is a sense of happiness, but it is not eternal bliss. The sense of happiness, like in the mode of goodness also, there is happiness now. The sense of happiness and contentment.
Yes, yes,
But
Mataji.
we cannot
But
say
there
this is spiritual bliss, can we?
no, Mataji. It means there is no service, devotional service over there. Like we can say that also.
Yeah, because they're not doing anything, because they don't believe in the form of Krishna, or they don't really like understand God as a supreme person, right? So who
Yes.
are they going to serve?
Yes, Mataji.
So it's like eternal, and then there is a sense of knowledge. What knowledge? That I'm not the body, I'm the soul. They really have that. But then there is nothing beyond that. And how is it a Prasannatma? Because we say Brahman realization has no bliss. Is there a sense of happiness, but that's not spiritual happiness, like in the mode of goodness. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Any other question, reflection, realizations, corrections?
Thank you, Mataji. Clearly you explain everything.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you could understand. Okay, Dhanya, Sameshri, Mataji, maybe we can go offline. Then we can do this.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.